What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Resident Horror. And this is going to be a real quick video about a film that I just watched. Everybody loves a good horror movie. I watch them year round. Some of you just watch them during this month. So let's talk about Totally Killer, which you can see behind me. This is an Amazon original film. But before we start, be sure to hit the subscribe button, the like button, and that notification bell so you don't miss a video. It helps the channel out immensely. What is this film about? This film is about a killer called the Sweet 16 Killer. The reason they call him the Sweet 16 Killer is because he stabs his victims 16 times. And in 1987, he murdered 3 young girls and stabbed each of them 16 times. And he strikes back 35 years later, taking the life of a beautiful wife and mother. And this daughter, 17 years old, will not take that lying down. She needs to stop this and find a way. Well, how is she going to find a way to reverse what already happened? Bingo! You gotta go back in time. So she ends up going back to 1987. But she got there by finding a friend who happened to be working on a time machine, time travel, and believes in it and thinks that it's possible and is actively working on a machine to go back in time. And she goes into the time machine and sits down and she sees the date, October 1987. She's like, hey, why do you have this date? Because this is when those 3 girls were murdered. And she's like, hey, I was just thinking maybe if I was able to go back or someone was able to go back, they'll be able to stop the murders from happening and change the future. So she gets the bright idea like, hey, I'm going back. She ends up getting the machine working by accident and goes back to 1987. And this is where the fun starts. So she locates her mother and the 3 friends, and you have the dynamics of seeing her mother, what she was doing, how wild and crazy she was, and what the other girls were doing as well. So this is where the comedy comes in. And comedy also comes in with the disparity between each generation. They weren't as touchy and so political correct back then as they are now, and nobody wants to offend anybody. No, it was straight offensive. Nobody gave a. So she's trying to correct people there, making jokes like, oh my God, I can't believe you're so blatant in how you're doing this. I can't believe you just said this, and all kinds of stuff like that. So that's what makes this film fun, is that aspect of culture shock for her when she goes back to 1987. So like I said, this is a quick review. There's really nothing much to talk about. She goes there. Some of the girls get murdered. She can't, save all of them, but things are out of sync. She needs to get back in time before she's stuck in 1987. The acting is okay. I mean, it's good for what it is, a campy popcorn film. So they get the job done there. The action is, regular, just girls running away from a killer with a knife and men running away from the killer with a knife as well. And that's it. She ends up, does she survive? Does she not? I don't know. You got to watch the film if it interests you. But I know it seems a little corny, but it was a fun film to watch. Everything can't be so intense. You need some dark comedy horror like this just to lighten up the scene, a little bit. But it was interesting and it was fun. Is it the greatest film you're ever going to see? Absolutely not. But is it a filler film? Yes, it is. So do I recommend it? Only if you like popcorn, campy, scream-like type movies. I can only recommend that to you people. If you don't like those films, stay away from this. If you can enjoy that type of film, you'll enjoy this. Peace. I hope you guys enjoyed the quick video. Didn't want to get too in-depth with this because it's a shallow film. Not really to get too in-depth with, but a lot of the bars, the comedy lines did hit. So I chuckled a couple times. And that was about it. Peace. I hope you guys enjoyed.